You hit play. Simple, effortless. But behind that single tap is an explosion of data screaming through circuits at light speed. In less than a second, you've entered a vast digital labyrinth. Welcome to the true infrastructure of humanity, a city built of data. But to understand how it works, we must go beneath the surface, down to the darkest corners, where the giants of steel lie waiting.
This is the physical layer. Glass strands carrying the world's information.
Undersea cables wrap the Earth like an invisible nervous system. I'm your host, and today we strip away the mask of the internet.
What you see is just the surface. What lies beneath runs the world. If this invisible layer stopped for 1 second, everything would collapse.
You don't see it, but you live on it. Every minute, every hour. It's a digital iceberg, and it's more incredible than you imagine.
Fasten your seatbelts. We are moving at the speed of light to explore.
The invisible layer. The hidden engine of our world. To understand the scale, we start here, deep in the middle of the Atlantic. Giant spools carrying thousands of miles of fiber, unspooling into the abyss.
It takes months. A slow, precise descent to the graveyard of ships.
On the seabed, robotic plows bury these lifelines to protect them from anchors and sharks.
Despite the armor, the magic happens in a core no thicker than a human hair. Inside, light bounces in a perfect dance of total internal reflection.
These cables emerge at landing stations, the border-crossing points of the internet.
From the coast, they travel through a hidden vascular system beneath our feet.
Until they reach the fortresses of the modern age, the data centers.
These are the most secure buildings on Earth, guarding the world's collective memory.
Inside, a cathedral of silicon. Millions of servers humming in a perfect, cold harmony. Every second, billions of connections are made and broken. The heat is intense. Specialized cooling systems fight to keep the digital world alive.
They consume as much energy as small cities, fueled by a constant hunger for power.
They never sleep. They never blink. They are the heart of the invisible layer.
Physical cables are just the roads. But how does the traffic know where to go?
Every single device connected to this web has a secret name, a digital identity. This is the IP address, a unique string of numbers that defines your place in the digital universe. Think of it as your house number in a city of billions. Without it, you are invisible.
But humans don't speak numbers. We speak names. We type words like Google.com or YouTube.
Between your words and the machine's numbers lies the DNS, the domain name system.
It is the ultimate phone book of the internet. A hierarchy of servers that never sleeps.
When you hit enter, your request travels to a root server.
the top of the digital pyramid. There are only 13 root server clusters worldwide. They are the gatekeepers of the web. They point you to the TLD servers, the masters of the .coms and the .orgs.
Finally, the DNS finds the exact IP address you need and hands it back to your browser.
All of this happens in milliseconds. A global conversation at the speed of thought. But an address is just the start. Now, we need a map to find the best route.
This is routing, the process of choosing the fastest path through the chaos.
Your home router is the first scout. It looks at the destination and decides the next leap.
The internet is a network of networks. There is no central brain, only billions of independent choices.
BGP is the GPS of the internet. It constantly updates the map as networks go online and offline.
If a cable snaps in the Atlantic, BGP finds a new way, perhaps through Europe or Asia, in seconds.
We ran out of old IP addresses years ago. Now we use IPv6, a galaxy of nearly infinite addresses.
Enough addresses for every grain of sand on Earth to have its own digital identity.
But names and addresses aren't enough. We need to make sure the data is actually for you.
This is where certificates and handshakes come in, the formal introductions of the web.
Your computer and the server perform a TCP handshake, a pact to start the flow of information.
Are you there?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's begin.
DNS and IP are the navigation system that makes the invisible layer work as one.
Without this logic, the billion-dollar cables are just useless glass.
It is the invisible language of machines, spoken every time you load a page. Elegant, fast, and incredibly complex.
Connecting 4 billion people through a series of mathematical handshakes.
Now that we have the address, it's time to see how the data itself is packed for the journey.
Your data doesn't travel as one piece. To move fast, it must be broken apart.
Each packet has a header, a label that tells the network where it came from and where it's going. Strange part? Packets from the same email might take completely different routes across the globe.
One might fly through London, while another races through Tokyo, seeking the fastest path.
At the destination, they are gathered and reassembled in the exact order they were sent.
This is TCP, the protocol that ensures not a single bit is lost or left behind.
If a packet goes missing, TCP demands a resend. It is the internet's obsession with perfection.
But in an open network, how do we keep these packets private? We wrap them in armor. This is encryption, the process of turning your readable data into an unbreakable secret. To a thief, encrypted data looks like gibberish, a chaotic mess with no key.
HTTPS is the standard of the modern web, a secure tunnel for your most sensitive moments.
It uses TLS, a complex mathematical handshake that creates a unique key for every session. Firewalls stand as the first line of defense, sentinels at the gates of your private network.
Deep packet inspection, systems that sniff out threats before they ever reach your screen.
Your passwords, your bank details, your private messages, all guarded by the invisible layer's security.
VPNs take it further, creating a private path through the public chaos, hiding your very existence. DDoS attacks try to overwhelm the system, but the infrastructure is built to absorb the shock.
Security is not a single wall, but a living, breathing ecosystem of protocols. It is a constant arms race, developers versus hackers, in a war that never ends.
Authentication ensures that the person on the other end is exactly who they say they are.
Zero trust, the modern philosophy where no one is trusted and everything is verified. Security even extends to the stars, protecting the signals that bounce off our satellites.
We take that little green lock for granted, but it represents a massive global effort.
When packets and security work together, the internet feels seamless, invisible. Underneath every video, every post, every message is this silent guardian. Delivered in perfect order. Secured against all odds.
The packets have arrived. The security has held. But where is the data actually stored?
Our journey is almost complete. From the deep sea.
Now, let's look at the edge of the network,
Where the digital meets the human. Speed is everything. To beat the laws of physics, we use CDNs, content delivery networks.
Instead of one source, your data is mirrored across thousands of servers worldwide.
The data finds the node closest to you, reducing the journey from thousands of miles to just a few.
This is the edge. Bringing the power of the cloud to your doorstep.
At the edge, decisions happen in real time, crucial for autonomous cars and life-saving tech.
Every millisecond saved is a victory for human progress.
We are pushing the limits of silicon and light to keep up with our growing hunger for connection.
As we move into the metaverse and AI, the invisible layer must become even stronger. The web is expanding to the stars, bridging the gap for the most remote places on Earth. Knowledge is no longer a privilege of the few. It is a pulse available to all.
We've traveled from the ocean floor, through the DNS, and into the packets of light.
The invisible layer is a masterpiece of collective human engineering.
It is the greatest machine ever built, and we use it every single day without a second thought.
But with this power comes a profound responsibility: to keep the web open and free. To protect the privacy and the truth that flows through these glass veins.
We are more connected than ever before, yet the layer remains hidden. Invisible, silent, but absolutely essential to our survival as a species.
The next time you load a page, remember the journey it took to reach you.
A billion small miracles happening every time you click. These are the pillars of the invisible layer.
It is the pulse of the 21st century, the heartbeat of our modern civilization.
You are part of this network. Your voice, your data, your life. The journey doesn't end here. we are just at the beginning of what's possible. 8 seconds. That's all it tells for the world to change. Now you know. The layer is no longer invisible to you. Knowledge is the first step to protecting our digital future.
I'm Adam, and this was The Invisible Layer.
Stay connected. Stay curious. The internet is yours. Explore it wisely.